So, yeah, that's why there would never be peace. And yeah, and that is what a prophet is. Part two. There would never be peace in totality here in this place, which is known as Babylon. Babylon, Babylon, Babylon. All right, let's jump to some more prophecy. Prophet Isaiah 48, verse 22. It says, "There is no peace, says Yahweh, unto the wicked." And who is the wicked? Well, you should know by now who's the wicked is. It is the nation that Yahweh Shai and their scholars know this, man. That's the thing. Their scholars know this. They said it. I had a bunch of videos, but stuff get lost in translation, so to speak, right? Or just get lost. Just get lost. Storage files and all of that garbage. But their Edomite scholar said it himself that Yahweh Shai is coming back to a nation ruled by Edom. Not even a nation per se, but the world. Yahweh Shai is coming back to a world ruled by Edom. Idumea, Edom, Esau. Yahweh Shai, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ, Christ Jesus, is coming back. His name is Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai in the Lashawan Kadash. It says it right there in the Lashawan Kadash, the ancient Paleo Hebrew tongue. It says Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai. Yahweh. So it's right there in the Lashawan Kadash alphabet. Slach. But their scholars, even an Edomite scholar, he said it himself. And they're really not the true scholars, but just for what it is, Edomite scholars said, because they don't know the whole book. That's why they don't know the whole book. They don't really understand the whole book. How can they understand or really comprehend the whole book when they're not even the people? They're not the people. They're not the Israelites. But I'm digressing. He said, Yahweh Shai is coming back to a world ruled by Edom, Idumea. And when you go through these prophecies, these scrolls, you'll see that this nation, this particular specific nation of Edom, and not just Edom, we always single out Edom, but it's all of the nations that I mentioned in Psalms 83. But you have the antagonist. Who is the antagonist of this movie? Who is the antagonist of the movie? The antagonist is Esau, is Edom, is Idumea, the Greeks, Romans, the so-called, quote-unquote, Caucasian man, Mount Seir. He dwelled in Mount Seir. He dwelled in the Caucasus Mountains. Idumea, Esau, Edom. That is who the Edomites are. And First Maccabees, Second Maccabees, the Apocrypha, gives you perfect information on the sort. But people still don't believe. Some people believe, some people don't. But I mean, that's what this thing is, right? It's all faith based, right? But even with that being said, concrete evidence is concrete evidence. And they are the Edomites. No way to get around it. So, and if you look at the world today, who rules the world? Everybody has their portions in this in this world. Everybody, they got their own sovereignty, so to speak, their own nation, Iran, China, North Korea, Russia, America, South Korea, Australia, France. Everybody has their own regions, but who runs it all? I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. We're in the business of telling the truth, and that's what we were set up to do. That's what we were put on this earth to do, tell the truth. Yeah, the so-called white man, The Edomite, he has the power over the world for this short time, but his time is just about up. His time is just about up. Let's get the prophecy. Second Esdras 6:9. It says, for the end of the world. It says, for Jacob is the beginning of the world. Second Esdras 6:9. For Jacob, that is you so-called Hispanics, blacks, Native Indians, African Americans, Negroes, blacks, Hispanics, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Brazilians, Native Indians, you Seminole Indians, you North American Indians, you Indians and Negroes, you Negroes and Indians. I mean, the Esau, he has a statue. I think that's Theodore Roosevelt, that damn devil. He's going to pay too. All of the nations are going to pay for what they did to God's people. I mean, hey, it is what it is. Let's just call a spade a spade. It is what it is. You see, the chosen people suffered for what they did, and it's just what's going to happen. But Theodore Roosevelt, he's in a statue where he has the Negro man, which is Judah, and then he has the Indian man, the American Indian man, which is Israel, both the Southern Kingdom and the Northern Kingdom. And he's on a damn horse. Theodore Roosevelt, he's on a horse. He's riding on a horse. And you have the Negro, which is not a Negro, which is Judah, the Judites, Benjamites, the Levites. We are the Israelites. We're the Israelites, but we're known as Negroes. He has the Negro, I believe, on the left, if you're looking at it from your phone or however you're looking at it. And then he has the American Indian, which is the Northern Kingdom, which is the so-called Puerto Rican, Dominican, Mexican, etc. American Indians, Seminole Indian, North American Indian. He has him on the right, and he's sitting on that damn horse, on his high horse, literally, metaphorically. Theodore Roosevelt, the statue. You can look it up for yourself. Just look up, Google the Theodore Roosevelt statue, and you can see the Edomite, which is Theodore Roosevelt, so-called Caucasians, man, woman, and child. They are the Edomite descendants. You can see this Edomite standing on the horse with the Israelites in servitude. Why? Because it's biblical prophecy. So yeah, that's who's running the earth right now. The wicked. The world is given into the hand of the wicked. Let's grab that. Job 9:24. Job 9. Let's grab Job 9:24. It says the earth, Job 9:24, is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges. Who are the judges? You Israelites, you so-called Negroes and American Indians, Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom. You are the judges. When you go into the history, more so when you dig into the Russian icons and the Voronet icons. When you go into the Voronet icons and the Russian icons, you'll see the judges. They are all black and brown people, Israelites. Vladimir Putin showed the world who the Israelites were, who we are. Not so much we are the people. We are the people. They know we are the people. But Vladimir Putin, he showed the artifact, one of our artifacts. That's our artifact. I mean, who else would it come from? It's our artifact, but it's lost, and prophecy and translation, right? I believe that's a thing, right? Lost in translation. Let's look up what that means. Lost in translation. Lost in translation. Lost in translation. I guess that's I am a writer, so I can bend the English language. That's one thing I like about the English language. You can bend it. That's what makes rappers, songwriters great, because the English language is so bendable. You can bend the English language. Double entendres, triple entendres, word play on words. One thing I like about the English language. So lost in translation, I can use it for what I'm using it for, but it says loss of meaning, nuance, emotional impact when translating from one language context, loses its effectiveness, misunderstanding, unintended humor, effectiveness. It signifies the original message. True intent was not successfully conveyed. So you can use it metaphorically either way. That's one thing about the English language. You can bend it. Word benders. I mean, that's what a rapper is. That's what a songwriter is. A word bender, a English language word bender. Yeah. Spirit reveals that. That's what a word bender. But anyway, I digress. I'm digressing. It's just, a man of many talents and gifts. And that's all glory to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. But it's nothing like the gift of prophesying. Nothing like the gift of prophesying, the gift of prophecy. So, yeah, man, this is Vladimir Putin. He showed the artifact. He showed the world who the Israelites are. That's just what it is. And they covered the faces of the judges. They whitewashed them. It's called iconoclasm. It's called iconoclasm. That's what it's called. Iconoclasm. 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 That's just prophecy. You see how the Bible is just prophetic? It's just prophetic. Iconoclasm. Job 9:24, they cover the judges. Iconoclasm. First Maccabees, the Apocrypha. First Maccabees, the Apocrypha. First Maccabees chapter 3, verse 48. Also says they covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, who and where is he? Yada, yada. Iconoclasm. And that's how you know who Edom is, man. That's how you know who Esau is. Out of all of the heathen nations, they all have their own God. Peep that, man. All of the heathen nations have their own God. The Moabites and Buddha. The Ammonites, I believe, is probably Buddha too, maybe some Asian god. The Ishmaelites, the Kaaba stone, the Arabs, the Kaaba stone. The Hamites, they got their own deities that they be worshiping, them damn witchcrafts and deities. The Hawaiians, whatever god they deities and gods. See, all of the nations have their own gods. Esau, he took the God of the Israelites. Iconoclasm. Who they call Jesus Christ. He wasn't, now everybody knows he wasn't a Caucasian man. Iconoclasm. The angels, they're not Caucasian. Iconoclasm. The judges, the prophets, they're not Caucasian. They're Israelites. They're Indians and Negroes. That's who they are. They're so. If the Israelites of old was to manifest before us today, they would look like the current day American Indian and Negro. That's who they would look like. So iconoclasm. So everybody has their God. Besides Esau, took the God and committed iconoclasm. It's right there in prophecy. So that's the wicked. That is who the Bible is pointing its finger at. The Bible is pointing its finger. This is figurative language, right? So to speak, metaphorically. This is one thing I like about the English language. Word bender. I bend words. If there's one thing, that I like about this language, word bending, English, you can bend so many meanings and runways and avenues, and it makes for great songwriting, great lyricists, great poets, etc., etc. But I digress. Let's go into some more prophecy. More prophecy. The wicked. Okay, yeah. Let's see who created the wicked, man. Actually, no. I was reading Isaiah 63. That's what I was going into. Isaiah 63. Was it Isaiah 63? Yeah, Isaiah 63. Their scholar said that Jesus Christ is coming back to a world ruled by Edom. So if he's coming back to a world ruled by Edom, and we know just by looking at the world today that the world is in shambles, the world is in chaos, there's evil everywhere, and then we can only come to the conclusion that the so-called white man, Caucasian man, is Edom. He is the Edomite. His father is Edom. He can't run from it. His father is Edom. And Yahushua is coming for the Edomites. It says, "Who is this who comes from Edom, from the city of Bozrah, with his clothing stained in red? Who is this in royal robes, marching in his great strength? It is I, the Lord, announcing your salvation. It is I, the Lord, who has the power to save. Why are your clothes so red, as if you have been treading out in the grapes?" Because when you step on the grapes, the residue of the grapes gets on your apparel, stains the apparel, gives you the blood-like color. It says, "I have been treading the winepress alone. No one was there to help me. In my anger, I have trampled my enemies as if they were grapes." Whew. It says, "In my fury, I have trampled my foes. Their blood has stained my clothes." That's some rhyming right there, too. It says, "For the time has come for me to avenge my people." Who is his people? We already established who the Israelites are. You so-called American Indians and you so-called Negroes. You are the Israelites. It says, you fit all of the biblical prophecies. When you go and read the curses and the prophecies, which is the curses in the Bible, Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 68, they only fit one people. So it is what it is. It says, "For the time has come for me to avenge my people, to ransom them from their oppressors." Who are the oppressors? The other heathen nations, according to Psalms 83, that have taken crafty counsel. It says, "I was amazed to see that no one intervened to help the oppressed." Yeah, we're the ones oppressed. We're the ones that's oppressed. Slave wages, no reparations, no compensation. All the stuff that the Israelites have created. We create culture. American culture is great because of the Israelites. Yet, still no reparations, no compensation. So he's really getting into it. Yahushua is going ham. It says, "I was amazed to see that no one intervened to help the oppressed." And it says that in the I believe that's the Apocrypha, which nation have not touched her? It says that in the Apocrypha, roughly paraphrased, which nation has not touched her? Basically, all the nations, all of the heathens have touched the nation of Israel, God's people, the apple of his eyes. It says, "I was amazed to see that no one intervened to help the oppressed. So I myself stepped in to save them with my strong arm." Barak thai Hawa Bahashim Yahushai. Barak thai. It says, so I myself stepped in to save them with my strong arm. This is prophetic. This is going to happen. This is quote unquote Armageddon. Armageddon. You already have rumor is that there's war generals and war commanders stating that this Iran and USA beef war It's going to push Armageddon. Rumor is that there are war generals and war commanders stating that this Iran and USA war is going to push Armageddon. It's going to be the war that brings in Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. Well, I hope they're right. It says, because we want peace in totality. And the only way it can be peace in totality is by the restoration of the house of Judah and Israel being accomplished. And I forget to add, getting the hell up out of these bodies. Ding, 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 ding. Getting the hell up out of these bodies. These corruptible bodies, as it says in 1 Corinthians 15:51-54, for this corruptible must put on incorruption. Once we get up out of these sinful bodies, and once the restoration of Israel and Judah is accomplished, that is peace. See, we ain't really nobody, no human right now, really no human, no mortal. And we're not just any old mortals. We're mortals, but we're not just any old mortals. But no mortal has really experienced true peace on earth. That's when Yahweh Shai's kingdom is going to be established. That's when we're all going to feel what true peace is. But yeah, getting out of this body, which is subjugated to sin. That's what I mean by that. When I say get up out of this body, it's subjugated to sin. It's subjugated to sin, and really to decay. Why do you decay? Because of sin. You sin, decay, it all goes hand in hand. To get that God body. You know, I have said ye are gods, but all of you shall die like mortal men. You know, the Israelites, we want our God body. We need that God body, immortality. And we need the restoration of Judah and the restoration of Israel to be accomplished. That's when true peace will be on the earth. Isaiah 63:5 says, I was amazed to see that no one intervened to help the oppressed, the Israelites. So I myself stepped in to save them with my strong arm, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, who they call Jesus Christ. And my wrath sustained me. I crushed the nations, the heathens, all of the nations in Psalms 83:1-6 that took crafty counsel. See, we know the Bible. We're the prophets, the true prophets. And I said I don't like saying that because it comes with such a responsibility and holy mystique. But I'm just a little old servant. And that's what I'm just a little old servant, man. I'm just a servant that has been chosen. And I must finish the course. We all got to finish the course. You know, just like playing a video game and you're playing with the character that you playing with. You got to finish the course. You got to see it through. You know, when you're watching a movie, that protagonist has to see it through. He has to finish the course. This is what this is. He has to finish the course. We got to finish the course. For many are called, but few are chosen. It says, I crushed the nations in my anger and made them stagger and fall to the ground, spilling their blood upon the earth. So Yahweh Shai, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ, the heathens, they love calling him Jesus Christ. When Yahweh Shai returns, he has a hit out. I mean, he has a hit on a plethora of nations, but more so the nation of Edom, according to Isaiah 63, this prophetic prophecy. It says, I crushed the nations in my anger and made them stagger and fall to the ground, spilling their blood upon the earth. I will tell of Yahweh's unfailing love. I will praise Yahweh for all he has done. I will rejoice in his great goodness to Israel, you Israelites, which he has granted according to his mercy and love. So that's just what it is. So no peace in totality, man. You won't find peace. So everybody looking for peace in totality here in this current place, which is known as prophetically and biblically and historically Babylon. If you're looking for peace in totality, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen until the Israelites are caught up, taken up into the UFOs or the chariots to be changed to gods. So we no longer fight against our bodies and our sins and our temptations and lust, because there's no peace in that. That's not peace. think about that. You can touch on peace on every level. Within that, that's not peace. Fighting fighting temptations and lust and your own body and your spirit, fighting your flesh, and your flesh fighting your spirit. That's not peace. So when we get those bodies, as it mentions in 1 Thessalonians 4:16-17, 1 Corinthians 15-51-54, 1 John, Philippians 3:21, 1 John 3:2, Wisdom of Solomon 5:1-7. When we get those new bodies, we'll be at peace. No more spirit fighting flesh and flesh fighting spirit. That's, peace. Caught up, taken up. Then with that, on top of that, then the restoration of the kingdom of Judah and Israel will be accomplished, will be manifested. That's even more peace. That's a 2-for-1. They got a saying in the world: kill a bird with 2 stones, or a 2-for-1 deal. That's another saying in the world when it comes to the food. I wanted another term, but I guess food would do. When it comes to the food industry, 2-for-1 deal. Kill a bird with 2 stones. So you shed this flesh that you're always fighting, which is no peace. Every day I wake up, my spirit is fighting my flesh. My flesh is fighting my spirit. There's no peace in that. And then the kingdom of heaven being accomplished, being established on earth. Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Gad, Reuben, Issachar, Ephraim, Simeon, Zebulun, Gad, all of the tribes being set back, and the kingdom of heaven being established. Israel and Judah. Yahushai's kingdom, according to Daniel 7:14, 18, 22, 27. The saints shall take the kingdom, and the kingdom shall be an everlasting kingdom, world without end, full of peace in totality. That's the thing. It will be peace in totality. So that's peace. That's when true peace will be on the earth. When we in our God bodies and we in the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be, governed by the elect. Yahweh willing, I be part of that number. Like I said in times past, if I'm not, I hope I can be the doorman, the janitor. Being a janitor in the kingdom of heaven beats being filthy rich in this kingdom. How you like them apples, Microsoft? I'll say it again. Being a janitor in the kingdom of heaven under Yahushai and the Israelites is far greater than being a trillionaire, billionaire in this kingdom. So I'd take it. Part 3.